Hey, it's been a while. I thought I would do a little demo of how to use the old John Hodgson backdrop books with a really simple lighting setup that's just two lamps. These are cheap as chips IKEA lamps, and one figure, a little scenic base, and the Sci-Fi. Is that a Sci-Fi Ruins backdrop book? I think it is. So the figure we've got, star of the show today, is a Killbot from Ramshackle Miniatures. These are absolutely awesome. I got to say, they come in a kit of like 1 million approximately parts that you can build in any way you want. So I've painted him up all nice and rusty. Thanks to Curtis at Ramshackle for saying we could make use of their minis. So, well, these minis anyway. So I've got my scenic base as well, which is very simply made out of like basing material, bits of clay. I actually spray painted it all black, I think, with I think it was some outdoor like stove black, I think. Doesn't really matter, just, you know, the black is really useful for the sci-fi. Anyway, doesn't matter what colour you paint it, just get a wee scenic base going there. And so what we could do at this point, let me move that block of wood that is there for no reason. You can see, you know, we could take a photo like that of our guy, and that'd be all right, wouldn't it? But let's have a look at some lighting. So this is very straightforward. We're in just kind of general ambient lighting at the moment. Now, what happens if I turn on my front light that's pointing on the miniature? Cool, it's lit the miniature up really nicely, but we've got that glow from the lamp on the backdrop book. See what I mean? Look at that. All right, so a second lamp just pointed above, over the top of the miniature, pointed at the backdrop book. Now watch this. I hope this works, otherwise it's going to look a bit stupid. Look at that. Right, that's doing a couple of things. It's kind of vignetting the background. So we've got these darker edges. There's my big hand. The darker edges that just, it makes it really attractive, I think, on the back door. You can also move, you know, you can move this to sort of set it how you want. You could cunningly just sort of light up the light sources within the picture to really emphasize those. I quite like giving it a bit more. Now, something that's doing as well is stopping something you really don't want. Let me turn it off again. If you light your miniature and look, you get a big shadow on the backdrop book that ruins the illusion completely. That's almost worse than the reflection on the backdrop book, because that just fades out the backdrop a little bit. It's not ideal, but it's not the end of the world. But to me, the shadow on the backdrop book from a single light source straight on, that is the end of the world. That does ruin the shot. So I tend to light things, if I'm doing a simple sort of lighting setup, just from above a little bit to try and minimize shadow on the backdrop, and another light source just to kill it completely. And we've got a nicely lit scene. Now, because I have improvised and messed about with my lighting live there, I've put it into shot. But you can see how that all works. And you can... want to message? I don't want to message anyone. Watch. Why are you talking? That's not very helpful, is it? So you can see how that works with just two really simple lights, really cheap stuff. Don't forget, one of the best ways to take photos of your models is to just take them outside, because sunlight is really good. Move around a little bit if you can, just to make sure you're not getting, again, similar situations with shadows. But this is a really simple two light, cheap as chips lighting setup, and it just, you know, it's better than the row of paint bottles, right?